right, so today is Saturday, October something. We are going to continue working on the 69 Camaro today.
The blue one.
The blue 69, yeah, there's two. So we just received in a bunch of parts from Summit. We have, did we talk about the heads? We did talk about the heads, right?
Want to recap real quick?
Yeah, so just to recap, I think we did. This is the AFR heads that we ordered for the Camaro, the 302.
195. Right?
These are 195s. They're CNC ported. They have CNC machined combustion chambers. They have let's see, stainless steel valves. The chambers are 176 cc's. The springs that came with the heads are a little bit too light. I think, yeah, we did discuss that. They were, the spring rate was 380 on those, but the cam that we're running, they need to be at least 450. So I did order a set of springs for it, and we have to be really selective of what we order because a lot of things are back ordered. So all those springs that you go through, you find it, and then it's out until like November or December or whatever. So for whatever reason, I don't know why. Some supply chain stuff.
Yeah,
or
that's with everything.
Yeah, so it's kind of sucks. So I was able to locate a good set of springs. We're going to test the springs before we put them on the head just to make sure that we got what we purchased, because we don't want to mess up on that, because your cam floats or your valves will float and you'll be deleting your valve train. So
pretty quickly too.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we got. So let's go look at what came in. These are the old springs here. Retainers and locks. There.
Nice springs.
They're really nice springs, but they're just under the pressure that we need. So we should have an intake in here. And then I'll probably get cut by that later. So here's the intake gasket from AFR that's supposed to match the heads. So that's cool.
Oh, so you just port match the intake to those.
Yep.
Exactly. That's way easier.
Right? So, and then we ordered a set of header bolts. So the header bolts that we had that was on the car were the 6-point, and they were really large. So that last header tube was a...
Yeah, I had to machine down a socket just to get it on.
It makes you want to make up curse words.
Make up.
But yeah, so these are 5/16 reduced head diameter header bolts. These are really, really nice for tight spots. Really nice. So we're gonna use those. We got that. And then we had to get new rocker studs. These are off of the old Chinese heads, but these are nice. These are ARPs.
Yeah, they're good.
However, they were too long. So
the right push rod wouldn't work. So
basically, the rocker arm was bottoming out. The poly lock was bottoming out on this unthreaded portion, so we couldn't get the push rod preloaded like we're supposed to. So we ordered a new set, 7/16, which are right here, and these are just a little bit shorter.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
So this will work, right? So the difference was this unthreaded portion was on this one's way too long.
Yeah.
Here are, I believe, valve springs. Yep. So these are 8019-16. So these are supposed to be the 450 spring rate, but we'll test them to make sure. And then I'll move those over here. Still waiting for cam bearings for this LS.
Yeah, I know.
How
long are those out? Till November?
October, I think 28th is what they said from Jegs.
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't, somebody didn't even have them. They were projecting them out to like December. I don't know what the frick. So we already bought a set over here, but these are for the Gen 1 style and those don't freaking fit. These are the factory ones that came out of it. They just keep striking out. It's crazy. It's not like we're not trying. It's just
Just gotta work with what you can.
Yep. So here are. I was gonna say, don't we order some exhaust gaskets? So here we go. Here's a set of exhaust gaskets. These are AFRs.
What are those? Are they like MLS type?
No, these are graphite.
Oh.
So these will square up really nice. And graphite is really it's a highly compressible material, and it has a high surface temperature. So it actually doesn't melt. It's funny. It's malleable. I mean, everyone's felt graphite. You can break it. It's pretty fragile.
Yeah.
But when it's clamped between two surfaces, it holds it pretty well. But this burns at 750 degrees C, which is like 1350 F.
Damn.
So pretty high. And then beyond that, it'll turn to CO2.
Oh, it's just kind of like
it'll turn to a gas.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's crazy. So like your charcoal.
Oh, okay.
Right, it turns to CO2.
Yeah, just gone.
Yep. So basically, there's a state change, right? It goes from a physical form to a gas form. All right. So
you got what type of intake?
This is a Conformer RPM air gap. You know it's expensive when you look at this extensive packaging.
Oh yeah.
These used to be like 100 like $80.
Yeah, I remember when I was gonna build my small block, the first one that came in my truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not too hard to get.
Now they're $400, $380. So this is a nice piece. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a sick intake.
It's really nice. So the work. Let's
put the
compare the gaskets.
Oh yeah, I was gonna shit.
So we're gonna have to port match this intake. Wrong way.
Yeah. Oh, way different.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have to make that work.
Want to put it on the head?
Yeah. So that's how it's supposed to fit.
That's pretty good for.
That's money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna port match that. And I wonder why they only make one side with the Pinto seal.
What's that?
This. Impregnated.
Oh.
So that's that. Those will fit really nice. We'll port match the intake. So we're going to take advantage of those. There's no point in having a 195cc head.
The intake's not big enough.
If your intake is going to be
small,
basically undersized.
Yeah.
But there is a rule. So if you have to choose between the two, you definitely don't want a larger intake manifold port than the head. That's a worst case scenario. Because the gas and fuel is going to run into that edge.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
If you're going to have to choose between one or the other, you want to have the intake port smaller than the head. That way you're not obstructing the flow. You restrict it, but you're not really causing a lot of turbulence, because when it hits that edge, the gas is going to hit it and spin and cause a lot of disruption in the airstream. So what we did was we set the height on the spring compressor to the height of the installed height of the valve, and the installed height of the valve is determined by this distance from the shim pocket here to the underside of the retainer here. So the spring sits like this. It'll sit like that, basically. So that's where the distance from underneath the retainer to the top of that, and that is set by the keepers, which basically goes through here and it locks. So that's when the valve is resting, right? So
when it's closed.
Yes, when it's closed, on the seat, right?
Yep.
So this is some terminology they use in the, I guess, engine building world. The spring pressure, there's a seat pressure, which is this, and then there's the over the nose pressure, right? The over the nose of the camshaft. So the over the nose obviously is gonna be a lot higher than the seat.
Yeah, open pressure.
And what you're supposed to do to figure that spring rate out, because all the manufacturers use a spring rate, because all the cams are different. So you might have a spring that's really good over the nose, but the seat pressure might be too low. So what they use to determine the proper heights is they will specify seat pressure and they'll specify an open pressure. But depending on the camshaft, if you have a high lift cam, the open pressure is going to be a lot higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you might have a low seat pressure, so you need both. That's why they use spring rate. So, we have our spring height set, our seat height. We're gonna put a spring in.
This is the new one, right?
Yes, this is new. So we're gonna compress it to that. So seat equals 160. Okay.
Well, do you know what the other old one was?
They're 130.
Oh, okay.
And then we're gonna subtract 550. So we're gonna zero out our caliper, and then we're gonna decrease it by basically half an inch. 550. And that's 550 lift at the valve. And they factor in that you have a 1.5 ratio rocker arm. Okay, so I'm going to compress this to 550. So we are at 390. So we have 390, right? Minus 160 equals 230. And then we're going to divide it by 0.550 equals 418. So that is going to give us a spring rate of 418. So that's going to give us the pressure that we need to achieve the valve control that we desire. So anyways, but that's what we got for springs. That's what we're going to put on. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So Aaron's going to assemble this valve train real quick, and we'll go from there. And then put the springs on. We'll put the anti-seize on the threads, and then we'll swap out these studs, and then we'll assemble the heads on the motor. We'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can port the intake.
Nice.
All right. Let's get on with it.
So we were working on the 69 Camaro, and we put the heads on just to make sure that the piston wasn't going to contact, and it does. It hits the head right where the spark plug boss is. So let me go ahead and show you. You see right there, it hits. It didn't show on this one, but I'm gonna take some material off there anyways. Hit right there, you can see. So let's grind it off. So we we checked the piston to valve clearance and the piston to head clearance. The pistons barely nicked the heads just a little bit, so I went and clearanced those. So everything looks good now. So now we can just clean the block surface and put it together. Perfect.